just a quick note. I'm going to try and get better at ending these videos too. I have no clue how to end these videos. I promise I'm going to get better at this. I love you guys. Grace and peace to you. Good morning, guys. I am Barry. Went ahead and took yesterday off. I was starting to feel a little overwhelmed. Did a lot of prayer, fasting, and well, I was gonna try and talk a little bit about the book of Job. It's one of the harder books to read. The book of Job is a guy who pretty much did everything right in the eyes of God, and God gave Satan the authority to try and, I guess Satan is trying to show God that Job's only so devoted to you because you've been blessing him so much. And I guess the synopsis is that if he was going through struggle, he wouldn't be blessing you so much. Now, this morning I read chapters with my aunt and the pastor that we read with online. He's got great insight on stuff we read. In chapters 7, 8, and 9, I do have the understanding of where Job is coming from. I understand that it's futile to try to argue your own innocence in the face of God. I mean, imagine having to try and... So though Job was righteous in the eyes of God, even he himself knew that if he was to challenge God on that, God could still come back and say, oh, you think you've been perfect? Well, here. And so I think it's important to continue to praise and glorify God, even in your struggles, but you can't argue with God. You can plead with God. Job primarily does a lot of pleading with God because Job goes through, I can sense in the book that Job is going through a lot of emotions. Now, though I read the book of Job last year, I'm getting more out of it this year for some reason than I did last year. And I think it's because sometimes we can fool ourselves into thinking that our struggles are bad. And sometimes our struggles are not bad. They are perceived bad because it's uncomfortable. And the object isn't to be comfortable. The object is to serve and glorify God. So our struggles are not always punishments. Our struggles are sometimes refinements. And I love what I don't like to reveal names, but what the pastor said this morning about his pecan tree. The fact that they in Texas there had been so much winds that his pecan tree had enough time in growth to withstand a recent storm they had just had, and was still standing when perhaps other trees were not. And it's those windy struggles that nature put that tree through that made it be able to withstand those 90-mile-an-hour winds that occurred in a storm that they just recently had. And so, man, I for some reason that really, it's a good analog to Christ being maybe not the severe storm, but Christ might throw you some strong winds. And those winds might be quite uncomfortable, but those winds are what strengthen you. Now, sometimes struggles are a result. Now, Job's friends, God bless them, especially Bildad, to assume we all walk through life assuming that if something bad is happening to you, then you must have done something wrong. And that wasn't the case when it came to Job. And so even his friend, even though in chapter 8, his friend Bildad didn't say anything incorrect, just wasn't the time and place for it. And in Job, you're also going to learn that sometimes when you are an understanding friend, that just being within the presence and not saying a word, letting them express their struggle, don't be so eager to give your opinion on it. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. Don't say a thing, just love them. And that's what Christ would have done. The ability to be with someone without the judgment, just the love, and understand that you don't know how they feel. You don't know how they feel. And I learn a lot from ministers and pastors, and the pastor this morning, along with a commenter, it was extremely eye-opening, the whole understanding that when you go to someone and say, I know how you feel, you're actually trying to make their struggle about you now. And that may not be what is actually needed. Your heart might be sympathetic and in the right place, but your intent then becomes, let me tell you about my situation. And now the struggle, you're trying to, coach. When it's not a learning process. And so sometimes the best thing to do is just to be in their presence. Don't say anything. Just listen. Hear them. Because even if nothing is said, and all you've done is let them talk, even if it's, why have you forsaken me, Lord? Just like Job. That's going to mean more when you get up and walk away and you go back home. That presence, that company, that understanding, that's gonna mean more than someone who just says, I know how you feel, or I can relate. And because that's not needed. And I understand, I agree with the pastor this morning. that by also in saying that, you are turning the situation to be about you now. And he's right. That's exactly what's going on. A struggle is not always the punishment. Now, Bildad, yeah, nothing he said in chapter 8 was incorrect. He was 100% right. But he was implying to Job that there must have been there must have been something. Like, even if you didn't, then your sons must have done something. And at that time, I get that I guess at that time, Bildad's attempt wasn't to comfort. Bildad, as a friend, was trying to teach. But in Job's case, he hadn't done anything. He was being tested. God knew Job was going to stay faithful, though this Job was going to be, because Job is very much, I mean, yeah, we strive to try and live in our home in heaven. Screw this body. Our body meaningless. What our strife should be for is our blessings above. I understand, and I get it that might sound weird to people, but I understand that thought that, take me now then. I would rather be in heaven now than continue to go through earth. But that's not up to you. We're here for a reason. We can't just check out because we just feel like going home. There is a will and a purpose that God still has for you, and if you do that, you're still kind of in a weird way saying you know better than him, and any plans and wills he had for you, you're letting him know, nah, I'm not going to do it. And in that aspect, I don't wish to displease God either. So the understanding is on both sides. I can see it, but I like the guidance of pastors. I like the guidance of those who are more knowledgeable when it comes to Scripture. And boom, it is very important not to interject, not to try and be, oh, I understand how you're feeling. Because to be really honest, no, you don't. You don't understand how someone else is feeling. Even if you've been through the same exact situation that they are going through right now, you can't honestly say you know exactly how they're feeling, because their prompt, their emotion, their previous given circumstances are not exactly the same as yours. And so I'm going to do more reading of Scripture on my channel. I need to go get I have my prescription for my glasses, but I have to get a special exam since I'm going to try and wear contacts. I'm not a fan of glasses. So I'd really like to get some comfortable contacts that I can wear, because I constantly drop these scratch. They're constant. I feel like I'm looking through fog. So I go through this stuff too. People are going to die. Your pets are going to die. Now, it is naive when you get a pet to think that they will live forever. But it's weird how when you do get a pet, you don't think about the part at the end. And I think it's important to understand, when you get that new puppy, just like a child, just like any other family member, a brother, a sister. There is a lifelong commitment. The unfortunate part about family members, brothers, sisters, and children is that our pets will not be living that long. So there is a pain that you're going to endure when it comes to helping them in their last days. And that's how you have to do it. You have to do this out of love. Love, love, love. That's the whole reason anyways, right? You saved the pet because he needed saving. So be there. And in that aspect, I don't feel bad for having such a raw nerve heart now. Because love hurts. Love is wonderful, but love hurts. And out of all the people who know that the most, it's Jesus Christ. It's God. And so, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I apologize. Again, I'm going to structure my schedule at some point so that I can do this daily. It's going to probably be first thing in the morning after I read the Bible. But I want to make this just as prominent to reach out to you guys, to start reading the scriptures, get a base. I at least want to create a playlist where you can watch. If you watch it every day, you'll get the Bible heard into your ears at least. And so my objective is to work toward that. And it's going to be a learning process. So to all of you who are religious in watching my videos, or I apologize for some of the pauses I take. I take 2 days here sometimes, a day over there sometimes. A lot of times I do that. I'll fast. I will pray and pretty much fast at the same time that I'm doing what I need to do for the dogs, because this is a full-time thing. To anyone who wishes to be a dog rescuer, think twice. It's a lot of responsibility. Anyone who has accidentally become a dog rescuer, I love you guys. It's a hard thing to do, but it's because there's love in you, and that's how it accidentally happens. Because you're not evil. It's because you love dogs, you love animals. In fact, I would have way more if I literally didn't stop myself. I would have far more. And therefore, it's not because you're a bad person. It's because you are a good person that this occurs. Now, you have to know your limit. You can't save them all. But I'm learning that I can redirect this love to those who need it. To save. To bring people with me when we eventually go home. So, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, helps the algorithm. Comment below, let me know what's going on with you guys. Share the video to people who, basically sinners, to all us people who are trying to be less sinners. I love you all. Grace and peace to you. Have a wonderful day. Just a quick note. I'm going to try and get better at ending these videos too. I have no clue how to end these videos. I promise I'm going to get better at this. I love you guys. Grace and peace to you.